What's up, Lego builders? Welcome back to Coconut Brick Studios. Today, I'm attempting to build the largest clone vs. droid battle I've ever done. With over 250 minifigs, some massive war machines, and I'll be continuing my Arquitas storyline from the last challenge, minus the enhanced droids. I could just slap down some base plates, add a bunch of figs, and call it a day, but where's the fun in that? So this battle is going to take place at the gates of a massive droid stronghold I constructed. So make sure to execute Order 66 on that like button, grab your favorite politically correct snack, and let's get building. My mock tables are currently filled with the beginnings of my next large-scale mock and Imperial base on Minban, but I planned for this and kept all the building in one corner of the table, which I removed while managing to avoid catastrophe. Next, I rearranged the base plates to get the right layout for the base and battlefield. I'm going to start with the base, which will be a serious upgrade from the last one you saw, most importantly in the door department. For anybody who's unfamiliar with the lore, in my last challenge I pitted a droid and clone base against each other on the fictional planet of Arquitas, which is a fuel-rich backwater world that was recently discovered. Both sides are rushing to secure a foothold and seize that liquid gold. The Seps were able to get there first and start mining it. This base I'm currently building is their main stronghold where the final chapter of this campaign will take place. I felt like tying in this story would better justify a massive Clone Wars style battle and just make the mock more interesting than if I had the two forces clashing on just a flat plane with no stakes. Plus, I'm enjoying this Arquitas arc and want to continue it. And with this being the last droid base I'm going to build for a while, I wanted at least one of them to have working doors. So I'm building two big gray slabs that will slide open and closed on a track. I added some headlight bricks and tile to the sides for some texture and to make one look more reinforced and ready to withstand even the strongest Republic blasts. I built a gate housing on either side of the doorway to hold each side up and built a track with plate and tile between the two so the doors can actually slide open and closed. I went with the now typical plate and brick configuration, which is one of my favorite ways to build now. I basically build the foundation of a structure with brick and then add panels and connecting everything and adding some detail and texture to the structure, thus making the whole thing look more realistic and not like it was created in a Minecraft server. Let me know in the comments what you would use as a door if you were building this base. I'm open to suggestions for future builds since, as convenient as it is to make, they can't all just be pretend laser gates. Bonus points if you can come up with one that actually opens and closes. The track protrudes above the ground a little bit, creating a safety hazard, and so I aligned both sides with G-slopes, creating a small ramp to get over it, and in the middle added a big caution strip so entering or exiting vehicles don't miss the bump and accidentally achieve temporary liftoff. This whole conflict revolves around the vital fuel or substance that will shortly become fuel, so in the base are massive big gulp level silos to slurp up that liquid democracy, as some real world countries would call it. I would add more, but I think two of these gets the message across, and let's be real, this mock is going to be more about the giant battle outside and not another house tour of a droid base. That being said, I threw in some little world building details like silo monitors, pipes, and the necessary caution strips to comply with any OSHA regulations. Another reason I put small, seemingly unimportant greebling like this is to help fight building fatigue and keep me interested in a project over the course of multiple days, since building mountains and placing grass can get old pretty fast and I need something to engage. And I need something a little more complicated to build. It's not all grim and grind here though. This being the main droid base on the planet, there are all kinds of machines and species on site, so there needs to be some stuff to keep those on their downtime occupied. And what better way to keep the peace than a rage-inducing game like Pool, which has sent those with even the jolliest of moods into a fit of rage. Well, maybe just me. I threw together a custom pool table and added some delicious oily beverages to calm this raging droid who just missed a shot that even a Gungan could hit according to his buddy. Now the droids have a fearsome gate and the beginnings of an interior, but I feel like something's still missing. Oh yeah, the walls. But in order to build those, I need to get the battlefield in place. I had the foresight to save and reuse some of the base plates from the last challenge video, which saved me a huge amount of time. Now I just needed to reconfigure them in a way that works with this base and make sure the trenches are either covered up or in the right spot. Then all I had to do was cover up any remaining spots, and in less time than it took Jar Jar Binks to bring down the Galactic Republic, I built a massive battlefield. Now I can get back to finishing the droid base. Because it's built into a mountain, the natural terrain will be the walls, and I needed the ground in so I could figure out where to start building the mountain and where the trenches would sit in relation to the base. I'm starting with dark bluish gray to represent this solid bedrock, since this is a full-on mountain and not just an oversized termite mound. I want to build defenses into the actual rock, kind of like the pillboxes and bunkers seen on the beaches of Normandy, since this isn't a hastily constructed defense and the Seps knew the clones would come knocking at the door sooner or later. As I got higher up the mountain, I transitioned to green brick for a little color variation, and because I don't have much dark bluish gray brick left, this mock is once again pushing my once mighty supplies of gray and green brick to the brink, and I still have to do the interior, but thankfully my giant Megito mock is still in the process of being taken apart, so I was able to scrounge up some more gray brick. Like I said earlier, the focus of the mock is the battle outside, so I'm not going to do much of an interior. I basically just need to cover up the inside of these mountain walls. But I do want to add a few things, stuff like a fueling station for tanks. I also added a loading station for MTTs. Unfortunately, the base is a little understaffed, so this guy isn't forklift certified, but I mean, what's the worst that could happen? Easy does it. The wall tops are going to be lined with all manner of guns, starting with some massive anti-air cannons to make sure any gunships have to land well out of range of the base, as well as a droid sniper for targeting high-profile targets. This time it's the droid's turn to rain mortar fire on the clone, although the Republic has scored a few lucky shots and smashed some of the barricades. Any extra space I just filled in with droids and a surface-to-air or ATTE rocket launcher. And below, the gates are well defended by automated missile pods. Marching out of the gate in true separatist fashion are ranks of battle droids, who while being mowed down relatively quickly are mostly there to blockade the gate, while the better defended flanks destroy the enemy. And speaking of flanks, I added some grass to the trenches for a little extra protection and to hide my lazy building. And last battle, people said clones won because of the main character plot armor, so leading this massive army is the fearsome General Grievous, although given his track record, his plot armor might not be super effective. The droids are locked and loaded and ready for just about anything, and now it's time to see what the clones are going to throw at them. I have a large force of almost 100 212th and 501st clones being supported by a couple massive ATTEs. I knew I couldn't do a large clone battle without including my all-time favorite Star Wars vehicle. With little to no defenses or wreckage to hide behind, the clones have no choice but to charge forward into the blazing fire of the droid lines, armed with DC-15 blasters and the rousing speeches from leaders still ringing in their ears. Some gunships tried to get too close, and even General Kenobi's plot armor couldn't protect against the raging fire of the base, so there'll be a downed gunship and evac going on as survivors are helped from the wreckage. The campaign to secure Arquitus has reached its climax. The Republic won the first major conflict by destroying the Separatist forward operating base, but that gave the droids time to fortify and pull all available forces to their main mountain stronghold where the fuel is being held and prepped to be shipped off-world. Not only that, but Jedi Masters Plo Koon and Aayla Secure were severely injured, and the 104th took heavy casualties and were forced to pull out of the offensive. Coming to their aid, Obi-Wan and Commander Cody arrived on the planet with a combined force of the 212th and 501st Legions to assault the droids' final base and push the Separatists off the planet. Unfortunately, this is a near impossible task as the droids have dug into a literal mountain which is now bristling with anti-air and armor defenses that have shredded any gunships trying to breach the walls. All the while, droids and mortars fire on the charging army from secure bunkers and barricades in and on the mountain. Inside, Count Dooku himself has come to oversee the operations and potential retreat in case the base is breached and vital fuel must be evacuated. Meanwhile, fresh troops and vehicles are being loaded up and prepped to face the enemy. The only way in is a massive gate protected by rocket pods, and unlike last time, the Republic doesn't have their battering ram on wheels to break through. While things at the command center are tense, the overall mood in the base is jovial as the Seps feel very secure in their stronghold, even to the point of playing some billiards or sneaking a little nap in the cargo net. The Republic assault arrived via gunships, but because of the intense anti-air fire had to drop down a short distance away, and the clones had to cover the rest of the distance on foot while taking heavy casualties from the entrenched droids. Many gunships went down, but amidst the chaos, 2 dropships were able to land their cargo, and the mighty ATTEs are pushing forward to hopefully break the droid lines and, most importantly, bring down the anti-air guns so reinforcements can be flown in closer to the base. Unfortunately, General Kenobi's gunship was one of the ships that went down, and while Cody helps him from the wreckage, Captain Rex charges to the front lines to help engage Grievous until Obi-Wan can get there. Both sides are more than a match for each other, and it's once again up to you to decide the winner. Make sure to let me know in the comments which army you think will win the battle. This was the perfect end to my clone/droid base phase of content. The mountain stronghold turned out very cool and imposing, and I definitely want to keep the gates built for future projects. It was a blast setting up my largest clone vs droid battle to date, and I got to indulge my inner Clone Wars fanboy and pack the battlefield with as many ATTEs as I could. And I know the next time I break this record is going to be even more impressive. Now I can relax for a while and focus on smaller, more detailed builds, but don't worry, the Star Wars based content will return eventually. That's a wrap for this video. Don't forget to let me know what you think of the mock in the comments, and until next time, happy building.